All right, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's about 9:45 on the 1st of February 2023. And yes, we finally set our first snowfall at Central Park here. You'll see here, it says right here on the Twitter here, first snowfall. The wait is over. Central Park recorded the first measurable snowfall with nearly half an inch as of 5:30 a.m. That's right. So zero point 0.4 inches of snow fell in Central Park today. And that's what most places got, a dusting. Of course, that is considered a snowfall. It was a coating. I mean, not enough to shovel or anything like that. It just barely covered the ground, dusted the ground in white today, believe it or not. And let's see if they have a snowfall reports. It said here. So the latest first measurable snowfall set today at Central Park. So this is the latest on record at 0.4 inches, but it's still not an inch. And we have other things that have been set too as well. Record high average temperature for January set at all climate sites. So here's another one here for you to read. It says record high monthly average temperature set at all 6 climate sites here. All right. So they have a graphic which will look better. So let's look at that graphic that they shared on their Twitter here. So here it is. Here's the graphic right here. All record-breaking warmth in January. So here we go. This January's average temperature record of 43.5 is the warmest January on record at all our climate sites. 9.8 degrees above normal. LaGuardia had an average of 43.3. That beats the record of 41.5. 8.9 degrees above normal. Kennedy, average of 41.8. And it broke a 1950 record, 9 degrees above normal. And guess who was, of course, the warmest, more above normal than anyone else? Of course, New Jersey. Of course, it is one of the fastest warming states in the lower 48. And Islip, 41.1. That is 9.2 degrees above normal. Newark, 44.0. That is 11.2 degrees above normal. That's right. So New Jersey, warmest. Again, if you don't like the heat, Jersey's not a good place for you. 39.9. That beats the record of 20. Most of these records are actually newer records that were broken. That beats that's an 8.5 degree above normal. So again, records go back to 1869 for Central Park, and that's the most important one. That's well over 100 years of almost 150 years of records. This is the kind of thing that we're going to expect more and more of as we deal with the consequences of climate change, and that had to be talked about. Meanwhile, you put on the TV, they don't even talk about this. I mean, no, they're just talking about the cold, especially on News 12. I'm trying not to call them by their other nickname, but they're gearing to people who don't believe in climate change. So, unbelievable that we had. So, I'd like to see some snowfall reports though. From the day and see if what they got actually out in Islip at least. Well, I guess we can go to the weather and hazards for that. And let's look at our satellite first of all. And we have to go. We still want to go over the actual climate reports, but you can see the clouds breaking for some more sun by the afternoon. It really got sunny by like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon after having to deal with some clouds. And here are some high clouds that are starting to skirt us again tonight. But we did have clear skies. In fact, I was out there enjoying a little bit of it later in the afternoon. Yeah, definitely was nice to see the sun again. That's for sure. And if you look closely, you'll see here little patches of snow. This is at the Southern's Pond Park in Babylon. Look at those little patches of snow right there you can see. And tonight, clear skies and stars, which you may not be able to see on the screen. I was kind of looking for that comet, but it's tiny. I think you need a telescope to see it. I don't have that, so I was looking for it though. But anyway, let's go and take a look at the month of January again. All right, as we'll go back into that, even though we kind of covered the record-breaking warmth. Let's go ahead and look at that. Let's go back to that again and take a look, and we'll go to our climate, local, past weather, and we'll see what they have here. So at Islip, our monthly weather summary for Islip. Let's get that on there. So this is the monthly weather summary for Islip. All right. Average maximum high was 48.3. The normal, 39.2. That's 9.1 degrees above normal. and much warmer than last year's too, by the way, as well. Last January was much better than this January. This one is just awful. Average minimum 34.0. Normal 24.6. That's 9.4 degrees above normal. All right, pretty insane. All right. And again, look at how much colder it was last January. Last winter, even though it wasn't great, it was better than this one. So the mean 41.1. The normal is 31.9. That puts us 9.2 degrees above normal, and that is a record. Now, as far as precipitation goes, 4.97 inches of liquid precipitation, most of it all rain. That is 1.31 degrees above normal. So it was warm, it was wet. It was the worst possible combination you could have, obviously, at Islip. Oh, well, let me go back to that. Hold on, we're not done yet. We will go now to Central Park and look at the monthly weather summary for Central Park. Central Park's monthly weather summary. Why is it not going back here and doing that? So monthly weather summary for Central Park. Average maximum 48.7. Normal is supposed to be 39.5, 9.2 degrees above normal. Average minimum 38.2. That's 10 degrees, over 10 degrees above normal on the lows. So the mean 43.5, and that is 9.8 degrees above normal. Precipitation, we get 4.38 inches, so not quite as dramatically above normal as the other place, but still above normal, as not as dramatically above normal as compared to Islip. So last site we'll look at is Newark, New Jersey. The average maximum was 50.6. So the average high, if you were in Newark, was 50 degrees, 50.6. Normal is supposed to be 40. That's 10.6 degrees above normal. Average minimum 37.4. Normal value is 25.5. That's 11.9 degrees above normal. The mean 44, and the normal is supposed to be 32.8, 11.2 degrees above normal. Insane amountly. This is the warmest January on record. Absolutely insane to see this. This is just another sign of the climate crisis. And of course, the media does not want to talk about that. Of course, they don't want to talk about that. Let's see if we can go to climate on this site here and talk about that. Take a look and see what. Climate information. I think this. Yeah, we'll go to this viewer here. So we're going to go to the monthly weather summary, and we will use Atlantic City International Airport just to take a look and see how above normal they were. So the average maximum there was 51.1. The normal is 43.2. 7.9 degrees above normal. Average minimum 33.9. Normal is 25.1. So 8.9 degrees above normal. Mean 42.5. That's 8.2 degrees above normal. All right. You can see just how much warmer it was this January than last January. And not quite as above normal with the precipitation over there. I'm curious if Mount Holly yes, here we go. So this is Mount Holly's summary here. All right. And this again shows you the deal. So no surprise, the entire area, Allentown and Georgetown, experienced their warmest January on record according to this post. So not quite as much of a departure the further south you go, but generally speaking, New Jersey averaging quite a bit warmer than a lot of other places, for sure. So let's go to the current conditions. We'll go back to our current weather here after talking about this record-breaking warmth in January, and we're going to get ready for some pretty chilly weather for a change. Let's go and take a look at what we have going on right now. And you can see it looks like we have wind chill watches and probably wind chill warnings will be issued to our north. The question is, will we see that here? We'll have to look at the models and we'll see how that happens. Let's see. This is going to be a really unusually quick shot of cold air. So right now it's 29 degrees at 28 degrees at Islip. Dew point is 12, and yes, it feels chilly out there because it hasn't been this cold for a while. So let's go take a look at what the day was like at Islip, and we can go to the morning and see that light snow there that was reported there in the morning. You can see a little bit of that light snow right there. All right. I don't know what the actual accumulation was at Islip, but it was probably, everybody was pretty much around that half-inch mark. You can see temperatures were below freezing, so it was able to stick to the ground. And today, we made it above freezing, but generally only in the 30s. This is actually average for this time of the year. So even though it felt cold, this is actually normal January high temperatures for the February now, early February temperatures for the day, just about. And we had west-northwest winds for much of the day. And the winds kind of died off as we got toward later in the day. So let's go take a look at our highs for the day across our area, and I'm pretty sure they're only in the 30s probably. Yeah, only in the 30s for the most part across Long Island, mid to upper 30s, and maybe 40 degrees. You go further south in Jersey. Generally, mid to upper 30s. Again, that's normal for this time of the year. Look at the lows. Lows are, well, West Hampton got down to 19. I don't know if they're radiating tonight or that was last night. I'm going to have to look. Otherwise, mid-20s. So this is close to normal for this time of the year. Yes, even though it felt cold, it actually is close to normal for this time of the year, believe it or not. Yes, that's correct. So 19. That's the current temperature at West Hampton. So they're going to get some radiational cooling tonight and probably make it down to the teens probably, which is, again, something you're supposed to see at this time of the year. So let's go look at the models, and again, we'll have this high building in, so we'll keep the weather dry for tomorrow, and then here comes the Arctic front, which you can sort of see here, that little kink in the isobars. There is the Arctic front passing through Friday morning. You really can't see it too well. It won't be that well defined probably. Sometimes there's snow squalls, but this one doesn't have it, and you can see there's that high that's going to be coming down, and the direction of the wind is actually going to determine how cold it's going to be. But that high, originally it was going a little more like over New England. Now it seems like it's the model's pushing it more, going the center of it going off to the west. Here it is coming in for Friday, and then it's already, look at how fast it moves. So Saturday it crests over like the mid-Atlantic, and then it is out and over the back out over the water, over the ocean there, and we get back that return flow for Sunday, which means this is going to be like a really quick. A little bit of cold air, and that's going to be it. So let me go here to the, let's use the Eastern U.S. view. All right, so we'll use that as to give us a view. So we can show you this cold air in action here. We'll go to the temperature anomaly chart. All right, tomorrow will be a little bit above normal again, and then you can see that Arctic air, but you see most of it now seems to be going off to the north and the north a little bit. So it's mostly over New England and the northeast that this cold air is going to be. You could see how it's just going to take like a sort of glancing blow, but you could see those pink colors. That's going to be pretty cold weather over New England there. But then as soon as it's gone, look at as soon as the wind goes, we're back above normal again. So we're only going to have 2 days that are going to be below normal, and that's it, much below normal, and then back into the same pattern we were before. So I figured I'd put that visual on the screen, and the reason why we're seeing that again, let's go ahead and pull this out to the North American view. You can see that the cold air is actually coming right out of eastern Canada, right there when you look at that. And if you look at these isobars here, you'll see where the low is, this low that's going to come, this low that's going through, and it's going to basically deepen over, I guess, the Canadian Maritimes, and that helps pull that cold air down and literally right from eastern Canada. Again, you follow the lines here, and you'll see that it's coming right from eastern Canada and even Greenland over the northeast, and that's why we're going to see this really intense shot of cold air, but it's going to be very brief in duration. So let's go look at the HRRR model first, and we'll go to the 0Z run. So here's the 0Z run on the HRRR, and you'll see a weak high pressure tomorrow is a weak system passing off to the south again. Maybe brings us some high clouds part of the day. There's the Arctic front. You can see it. But you can see it looks like it has like a snow squall, but then it kind of dissipates. It's not that well defined. You see a little kink in the isobars. That marks it right there. Otherwise, it's not that well marked. And then as the Arctic air moves in, you'll see there's going to be quite a bit of snow actually offshore. And again, east end of Long Island, Cape Cod, you might get into some of that ocean effect snow, depending on the wind direction. You can see there it really drops off, and you can see when you see this, you know you're dealing with some pretty frigid air just by looking at that. So let's go look at your dew points and wind flow chart. This will show the Arctic front pretty well as well. So tomorrow, generally weak west to southwest winds. That makes it a little milder. And then here comes the Arctic front. Here we are, right around sunrise Friday. It's going to move through. The winds go from west to northwest to almost northwest. and that is going to bring in this really big plunge of Arctic air. You can see, look at that, and this is all we got here. The HRR takes us to Friday night, but you can see pretty gusty winds as well. So there's going to be some pretty strong wind chills. And these again are the dew points, but you can see there's some really dry air here. This is coming right from right from Greenland practically. It's like a Greenland Express almost, you could say. I'm not going to call it Siberian Express, more like a Greenland Express. So tomorrow, we'll probably see highs closer to 40, and then here we are tomorrow night. And as far as tonight goes, most of us are going to drop into the 20s, but teens, and maybe a little colder than that in the Pine Barrens, perhaps. And then we'll see that some radiation cooling tomorrow night, perhaps, getting into the 20s, and then boom, here we go. Friday morning, here we go. So Friday morning, here we are. The sun comes up. Your temperatures are dropping into they're saying 20s. I don't think we make it to the 20s Friday. I think we stay in the teens on Long Island, maybe low 20s if you're in New Jersey. And then, yeah, you can see, look at this. This is the HRR running colder here, and this is going to be very cold. So single digits. We're going to have single digits by the time the sun goes down. This is as far as this goes out. It's going to be even colder than that. Obviously, the GFS is probably not as intense. Yeah, GFS might be underestimating this a little bit, depending on the wind direction. Because the short-range models certainly are. Let's look at the NAM 12, all right? NAM 12 is sort of looking like the GFS as well, so we'll have to see. NAM's a little slow with the cold air, and so it is sort of looking like the GFS, but I have a feeling if the winds go more northerly, that cold air is going to come right down. That's why that wind direction is important. That's what I think is the difference here. If we go and look at the dew points here, let's see. GFS, slight more of a westerly component here versus the HRR on this particular time frame. So there is a bit of a difference. That wind direction, if it's more northerly, that's when it's going to be colder. All right. So anyway, let's go into Saturday here, and you will see, I think that we're going to see temperatures near zero Saturday morning, perhaps even below zero. And again, Long Island and north and east will tend to be colder than the southern half of New Jersey. And then for Saturday, you can see temperatures already kind of recovering a little bit into the mid to upper 20s in New Jersey. But over Long Island, it's going to be colder, probably mid-20s at best. I think maybe may not even be teens. This is the GFS, remember. Could be a little colder than that, depending on the wind direction. All right, all depends on that wind direction. The GFS wants to have a more of a westerly flow on Saturday, which would make it warmer. All right, but some of the other models, like the European, don't have that. I think we'll go to look at the European right now. European doesn't give us dew points though. That's the only thing. But if we look at the actual temperatures on the Euro, you'll see it's a little bit colder. So I'll have to see. It all depends. But that high going more to the west might yield to more of a westerly flow, and thus the really bitter cold doesn't get into New York City. But this is the European model, and look at that. 0 perhaps for the surface there, 1 degree. So it could be near 0 Saturday morning. That's pretty cold. And then it moderates very quickly. As you see, the cold air convection shuts off very quickly because of that. But yeah, this looks different because I think the high is in different spots. So let me go back to the MLSL period and see. Let me go look at this. Now, it does bring the high more to the west, too, like the GFS. You'll notice, though, look at what happens here. There's a little precipitation out over the Forks. That could be snow showers as well as the Cape. We don't have as many short-range models to use right now because we'll get the NAM, which will show us a little bit of it as well. It might be underdoing this ocean effect. Achoo! Excuse me. Allergies. Because after all, it is. I actually saw buds on the trees today. Yeah, I'll put it up in my community posts. But anyway, it might be underestimated, this effect. We might see a lot of it Friday night to Saturday, perhaps, and you can see that high coming in right there. All right, so let's now go shift over to the clouds and look at the clouds. And this is the RGM model. Another model I guess we could use here to show maybe what's going to be happening. So let me go to the, this doesn't give us the dew points. That's right. Let's go to the skies. All right, so we'll look at this with the skies. So here we are for tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow, you'll see a little bit of that cirrus, and then it kind of moves on off to the south by the afternoon, I think, later in the afternoon. And then maybe you get another little wave of it towards sunset. And then there you can see there's the Arctic front right there. You can see the clouds from it passing through. There might be some clouds with it. I don't know if we're going to see a snow squall or not right now. It's not showing that, but you never know. Sometimes maybe the model could be underestimating that. And here we are again, Friday morning, Arctic front coming through from, I think it clears from north to south, but we will have to watch for lake effect cloudiness. It's showing a lot of it over New Jersey Friday, a little less of it over Long Island, but then you'll have the ocean effect clouds, but there may be some clear skies over Long Island with that. And I'll move this along here, and you can see, look at that. That's ocean effect right there. If I flip this over to precipitation here, it's just showing clouds, but I have a feeling because the wood is way warmer than they're supposed to be. I think we'll actually see some ocean effect snows, and maybe they might even accumulate over the east end of Long Island to an inch or two, perhaps. I think the models are underdoing it. And then we move it into Saturday. We'll have mostly sunny skies for Saturday for all areas, though there is some cirrus that might move in late in the afternoon, as you see right there. And that is the RHM's opinion of what's going to happen here as far as the cloud cover goes. But, of course, we don't have an agreement on that. So let me go to the NAM3 here. This is the 0Z NAM3. And the NAM, a little more, NAM is a little more and thicker with the clouds in the morning. Does tend to get rid of them in the afternoon. And here's Friday. You can see there's the Arctic front right there. But you can see just clouds with it, no actual snow squall. We'll have to see if one develops. And then here's Friday. Again, showing mostly sunny conditions, but maybe we're going to have to watch for that lake effect because if the wind's more north, this all depends on the wind flow, all right? If the wind flow is more westerly, we have a tendency to get more of a lake effect snow. If it's more northerly, we have a tendency to get less of it. Not lake effect snow, but clouds from it, debris. For Saturday, it's showing again more clouds over the east end. So we're gonna have to watch this when we have more models to work with. We'll have a better idea. But I think there should still be sunshine Friday and Saturday. But again, the further east you are, especially east end of Long Island, the more likely you're going to see clouds and possible snow showers as that cold air goes over the warm water, and you get that Long Island sound effect. Cape Cod especially too gets that. We'll probably get that. I know it's a short fetch, but the waters are much warmer than normal. If we go to the Earth Null School website here, you will see that we have these huge temperature anomalies in the ocean. Again, we will talk about that. Sea surface temperature anomaly. And you can see, look at how just all these bright colors, this is all huge anomalies here. Much warmer than normal water temperatures. Let me go to the windy.com site, and before I wrap this weather update up, and we'll take a look at another view of the European model here, because this uses the European model. So also kind of visualize what's going to happen, and the kind of wind chills we're going to have too as well. So this is the European model here, 4 o'clock Friday. We're in the teens, so I think, we'll have it'll be warmer in the morning. Temperatures drop throughout the day, I think. And again, these wind gusts are going to be pretty strong. So we're talking winds gusting up to into around 40 miles an hour. You combine that with the cold temperatures, and you're going to be dealing with, and I don't think they give you a wind chill index here, but you're going to be dealing with some pretty cold conditions. And again, that wind is going to be up there quite a bit. So we're going to looking at the wind gusts here for Friday. And here we go, Friday night. Still dealing with wind, particularly along the coast. And temperatures, again, in the single digits, so it's going to feel like it's below zero. So that's why we're probably going to need at least a wind chill advisory. Here we are Saturday morning. And again, 10 a.m., temperatures still only in the single digits to teens. But you notice more of that westerly flow. And if we get that, then it's incredibly milder. And you can see by 2 o'clock, the winds go southwest already. So this is going to be a really quick hitter. And that my concern for that is when you have that type of setup, that it's hard to get clear skies because everything is moving so fast. So I guess we can look at the cloud prediction on this, and you can see there's a lake effect that could cause cloudiness on Friday. Here it is again. Though again, by the afternoon, it seems like it's a little less, and a little less over New Jersey. It all depends on how that sets up, and then you can see more clouds over. This is, again, we're looking at the European model here. At 11 a.m., you can see already we're going to be dealing with more upper-level moisture by later in the day. As the winds go south. Look at the southwest winds already by the evening. So that's what I mean. It's just going to be such a quick hitter. It's going to be in and it's going to be out. It's a quick cold blast. It's like somebody just threw a bunch of ice cream in your face, and then it's going to melt quick. I guess that's the only way I could put it right now. But get ready. So you have one more day, and then just make sure you bundle up if you're outside. Saturday we won't have the wind. Saturday morning it'll be very cold, but we won't have. I don't think the winds will be as bad. We'll look at the wind gusts. Yeah, we won't have the winds as bad. Well, it's still showing some winds, so I'll have to see. Obviously, with those warm waters, it's going to help keep the winds up on Long Island. But if you're in New Jersey, it's still showing gusts of 21. So we're going to have to watch these wind chills for sure, and depending on that wind direction. More northerly, that's going to bring the colder air in. But if you're up in the interior New England, if you're up in let's go up to Plattsburgh. It's going to be 20 below in Plattsburgh. Yeah, Saturday morning. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cold upstate. Unfortunately, if we had that north wind, we could get into some record cold. But right now it's showing more of a westerly wind, of course. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have more information tomorrow about this. But after a record-breaking January, record-breaking warmth, now we deal with a shot of bitter cold from Greenland. But it's going to be in here and it's going to be out of here. Blink and you miss it. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Have a good night.